What's up, everybody? Time for the only wake-up show at 4 p.m. in the world. Fitting for Barstool. Wake Up Mintzy. Got the Stella Blue and the Dude Wipes. Got an empty cup of Stella Blue in front of me here, if you can see it, because I just spilt a cup of iced coffee all over the studio right before the show. Very fitting. Joined off the top, a man that needs no introduction. I say he's the mayor of Omaha. One of my favorite baseball announcers on the planet and a good friend of mine, dear friend of mine. Kyle Peterson joins us. KP, what's going on?
How are you, buddy? You relaxed? You get a little time off? Well, not time off, but time away from the absurdity that is Omaha?
Well, so this is the whirlwind time for me. I was planning on going to Omaha from Monday to Thursday. We had worked the Barstool Golf Classic Tuesday. I was going to hit a few games. I'm about to go to the airport Thursday, and I texted you. I was like, Raising Cane's just hit me up and wants to send T-Bob and me, so I got to stay for the National Championship Series. But I got back Monday. I'm turning around and going to Vegas super soon because I got World Series of Poker for the next 12 days.
All right.
So this is my time to shine. And, I got to be honest. I think I'm going to tear their I think I've got something planned for these boys in the desert. So it's a fun time of year.
We got the good feeling. That's good. No, man, it was good to hang out. It's always good to hang out. But it was
and I really enjoyed
to show you new breakfast place.
Yeah, no, I went 3 days in a row. I went with you to Louis M's classic Omaha spot on Friday morning, and got to know those LSU guys. Man, they're crazy. I ended up going to breakfast with them 3 mornings in a row, and it's
Well, did you?
Yeah, I got to know love those guys, and he said one of them who does the Go Chant. He's been going to Omaha every year. He's gone every year since like 1987.
So that's Chris Giat.
Yep.
And so Chris, his son and I've known Chris for a long time, but his son and my son are the same age. And so there was a few times I'd take my son down to Baton Rouge when I was doing games, and he'd hang out with Max in the stands and run around. And now Max is at West Point. He's in his second year at West Point. Is an awesome kid. But Max had some time off last year, so he brought a few of the other boys from West Point back to Omaha, and Teddy showed him what Omaha looks like during the series.
Well, I'm sure they had a heck of a time, and I got to meet your son Teddy, who plays college golf.
Yeah.
Got to hang out with him at it was like I was at an LSU tailgate Saturday night after the game, and I was laughing at him because the tailgate's like wrapping up, about to call it at midnight, and T-Bob Bear was nowhere near about to call it. I was going home at midnight, and I think he was out till like 5 a.m. But Teddy was like, I love Coastal Carolina tomorrow. Just like tripping. I looked at him. I was like, this may not be the right place to say that. He's like, I don't care. He's like, I don't care. So I hope he didn't go too big on that one.
No, I don't think he did. That's one of his. I mean, for a lot of kids that grow up here, it's one of their favorite times of year. I mean, the city just turns into something different than it usually is, and in most ways, a good way.
Oh yeah, and just awesome. Like I've gotten to do Omaha for the last 5 years. Every time I go, something magical happens. It's like Brandon Walker tweeted this, and I got like 10,000 likes, that the College World Series over-delivers every single year. Yeah. And I look back on the last week, and you and I texted about it, and I want to bring it up here. That LSU-Arkansas game Wednesday night, one of the wildest and best college baseball games. I've been going to games for 35 years. You said it might have been the wildest you've ever called.
Yeah. I mean, I think best and wildest are two different things. Best
definitely. I mean, there was a ton of mistakes in this game defensively.
Yeah, and obviously it ended up determining it. But if you're just looking for drama and action, and I think you'd be hard pressed to find one that had more. And I said this on Van Pelt afterwards. Like we're fans of people. We're not fans of teams when we do this. Mm. But man, you can't help from a human standpoint feel bad for the kids from Arkansas because of everything else that's happened. And, Aloy wins the Golden Spikes. Chuck Davalon's going to be a top 2 round pick in the draft here in a couple of weeks. And that's what everybody's going to remember instead of all the things they did during the course of the year. But that's what we sign up for. That's the gig. You sign up for the opportunity to be in the arena, and you never know what the hell's going to happen.
Yeah, I felt terrible for Davalon especially because he got kind of a bad break on the ball in left field, and he slipped. And it was like a human error, it was accidental. Yeah. The Aloy one was a big mental error, I thought, going to get that force out at third. I thought that was kind of like more the egregious mistake of the two. But yeah, I mean, Arkansas, Dave Van Horn, 8 trips to Omaha for Arkansas, 2 for Nebraska. literally every year. You look at college baseball, even the best programs have up and down years. Since 2016, when Arkansas didn't make the tournament, they've been awesome every single year for almost a decade. They're there all the time, and it's just they just can't get it done. It's crazy.
No, and he's as well respected as anybody in the game, just from a coaching standpoint, the way that he's done things, and it's an awesome fan base. I mean, you saw it that night. I mean, any other time that I wouldn't say any other time, but most other times that LSU plays in that ballpark, it's 90-10 purple and gold, and it wasn't against Arkansas. I mean, it was fairly 50-50 split, which made the environment even better.
Yeah, no, that was part of it. I thought the atmosphere Wednesday night was spectacular. And then LSU gets the national championship and then takes on a Coastal team that had won 26 in a row. And we saw an all-time pitching duel or pitching matchup Saturday night. Cade Anderson, I mean, when you think about what Paul Skeens did 2 years ago and is now doing in the Major League, we've really never seen anything like it. And Cade Anderson just went full Skeens. I mean, 134 pitch, complete game shutout, 3-hitter. And, I mean, and he went 7 1/3, one solo homer against Arkansas. I mean, no shock he won the MVP. I mean, just unbelievable.
Yeah, what's crazy, I mean, Fluky was really good. And I think Fluky made himself a lot of money that night. He's not even draft eligible this year, but if he was, he's a first-round guy now. And for Anderson, it wasn't his best stuff. He walked 5 guys. He had walked 5 guys all year. He was a little bit shaky with fastball command, but yet the other stuff was so good. I mean, the kid's a supreme competitor and grew up wanting to play there, wear that jersey, and he went to the camps and the whole thing. So I think it's pretty impressive that on a night that he doesn't have his best stuff, he still turns in, an outing that everybody in that program is going to remember forever.
I agree. And the thing about that Coastal lineup, they may not have the most power, man. They grind. I mean, they led the country in hit by pitches. They drew 5 walks. They put the ball. I mean, they struck out 10 times that night, but they don't strike out a ton. And, man, they make you earn it. And he certainly did. I mean, 134 pitches. We live in this era now where if you're over 100, it's like red flags, get them out. And I understand, it was his last game for LSU and pitching a national championship series. I mean, I had no problem with him taking the ball in the ninth.
No, I don't. I mean, I think sometimes the whole pitch count thing is such an inexact science anyway. And he had built up to it, and ultimately, it was you were going to have to tackle him to get him out of the game. And sometimes you have to. I mean, that's the way the game works. It's not only the guy's decision on the mound, but it was. I mean, as a fan of pitching, it was a pretty awesome night to watch.
Oh yeah, and then Sunday, and I was texting Kyle and KP and I were texting earlier. Warm one there Sunday afternoon, man. I know you were up in that AC broadcast booth, man. We were front row behind that dugout, man. I put on SPF 50 twice and still got cooked, but. Still an awesome scene. And then I thought my favorite scene of Omaha, the game Wednesday night was the best, but seeing Skip Bertman on the field in the wheelchair with the team. And I talked to Jay Johnson yesterday on here just about his relationship with Jay. And I'm not going to lie, it brought me back to my childhood. I mean, I became a fan of college baseball watching those 90s Bertman teams and, seeing him out there 30 years later. I know he's obviously 87 and a walker. He was on a wheelchair. I don't know. It was kind of like a full circle of life moment. Yeah. I thought it was incredible.
Yeah, I'll never forget when they knocked us out in '97, and we actually shook hands after the games then, which I wish everybody still did. And we were going through the line. He stopped me, and you don't need to stop anybody when you're going through, and just had some very nice things to say and memorable stuff to say, even though they had just knocked me out of the game. But I mean, you go Skip, Dato, probably Ron Frazier. If I'm missing somebody else, I apologize. But, I mean, those are the 3. Augie. So I'd say those 4
Augie for sure
are the 4 that have had the most influence on the growth of the game. And, Skip is probably the most recent of all those. And Augie, too, even though he's gone. But Skip forever changed baseball in the Southeastern Conference, without a doubt. And then he forever changed baseball across the country. And now it's turned into, everybody wants to do it, which is great. I mean, you look at a program like Coastal. I mean, Coastal sees a sport. You can go back to Rice, and there's plenty of others. But they see a sport like we can compete at the highest level in this sport. We probably can't do it in football. May not be able to do it in basketball. We can do it in baseball. And I think you've seen that commitment at different programs, and Coastal has had more success than probably any of them. But it all started because of the drive that Skip had to make one program better, ended up making the entire game infinitely better.
Oh, yeah. The Coastal, it was funny. I was that front row behind the dugout, and a bunch of their players recognized me, and I actually went out of my way after the game because I know how crushed they had to be after the national championship to make sure they heard me say how amazing their season was and how they did a lot of stuff that nobody done, because I can't imagine that feeling after a national championship. But to win 26 baseball games in a row until game one of Saturday, I mean, who does that? And not just to win 26 in a row. Sunbelt has some good teams. Southern Miss was a national seed. And then for them to go on the road at Auburn in the Super and sweep them in 2 games, to me, that was the most impressive thing they did. I know they ran through their bracket in Omaha, but I don't know. That was historic. And I feel like, when you ultimately lose, everybody just remembers the champion. But they did some historical stuff, and they deserve a lot of credit for it.
Some incredible stuff. And they built even more of a legacy than they had before based on what they did. I will tell you, too, and obviously there were some fireworks in the last game, but I was really, really impressed with Kevin Schnall and just the hearing his history in coaching and the way that he's approached it. And, if you look at Coastal teams historically, and some of it is because of their ballpark and the way that it plays, they're usually very offensive. And they pitch and defend enough, but they hit their way there. This was totally different. I mean, they flipped it to where it was pitching and defense, hit enough, you got a great catcher. And he realized what he had and what potentially would make them the best. He was, and that's one of the cool things about Omaha. Sometimes you get to hang around people that you don't a whole lot during the regular season. And he was definitely one of them. I came away very impressed. I mean, the last night was a little iffy all the way around, but at the end of the day, man, he's a hell of a leader.
Yeah, and this was his first year. I mean, Gary Gilmore, all-time legend, still an advisor around the program, won that 16 national title, but he got him to the national championship his first year. And I do got to ask, so what were your thoughts on him getting run so fast in that second inning? Because, I mean, I felt like everybody else that, this isn't a Tuesday night midweek game. This is the national championship. I don't know if there might be 2 words in the English language you could say that I think are worthy of that.
Yeah, I think it was definitely too quick. I mean, Angel Campos has a little bit of that history too. He threw Cantarella out a couple years ago in the postseason when I was doing that Clemson series running in from center field. So, going into it that he hears everything. The tough thing about Angel is he's got a really good strike zone. Like balls and strikes, he was great. But what gets remembered is that. So I think it was way too quick. I think at that point, like somebody has to go absolutely berserk to throw him out from a head coaching standpoint. But I also don't think that Kevin is totally innocent in it either. I mean, there was some things that you really can't do that he did, one in particular. I mean, when you come out and say you've already missed 3, that generally is going to get some attention. But that being said, given the environment, no, I think it was far too quick.
I agree. I just thought, look, like I said, I'm sure he said some stuff, but the national championship, that's a once in a lifetime opportunity. I think you got to at least warn them and say, look, hey, if you keep doing this, you're going to get run.
And he did, to be fair. I mean, he warned him a couple times, but at any rate, I mean, it was, at the beginning at least, it made it interesting, but it kind of overshadowed what was going on a little bit, and that part sucks.
Yeah. So Jay Johnson, first coach now to win 2 national titles in his first 4 seasons at a school. National championship runner-up to Coastal in 16, got him to Omaha in 2021 at Arizona. We've been having some arguments at Barstool, and you don't have to answer this because I know you're an announcer, you're so close to the game, but there was a big argument about whether Tony Vitello or Jay is the best coach in college baseball. I think they're both amazing, but I think Jay winning that second 4 years, I think, and his track record, I think that he's kind of standing on his own at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think, every once in a while we want to run to the who is the best, and there's no absolute answer to that. I think
we got to have stuff to talk about in media.
Yeah, that's true. You got to carry a show sometimes, but he's one of the top 3 or 4 for sure. I don't know how anybody could think differently, and listen, they have history and money and everything else that you need, but there isn't anybody in the country that deals with more pressure than Jay does. From a fan base standpoint, from an expectation standpoint, there's some of the greatest fans in the country, but when you don't win, it's a little bit different. And we heard some of that last year. a year after you won the whole thing. So I think the job that he has done there on the field obviously speaks for itself. But just in embracing the reality of what the LSU baseball coaching position actually is pretty phenomenal in a very short period of time.
Yeah, I actually brought that up because, you look back on 2023, you got one of the star-studded college baseball teams of all time. First team to ever have the top 2 picks.
Yeah.
I think 13 guys got drafted or something crazy. But he comes back the next year, and you mentioned it. They were 3-12 in the SEC. They played a brutal schedule. They had a stretch where they had to play like Arkansas, Tennessee, Vandy, all that. But he was able to rally them to get in the tournament. They almost made it to Omaha, lost in Game 3 of that Super, and this team in 2025, he fully recruited. He inherited Dylan Cruz and some of those guys and brought in, but he brought in Skeens and White. But to me, it's unfair to compare the 25 to 23 team, but it's just amazing that he was able to win one 2 years later after losing everyone.
Yeah, and I think you'll look back. Somebody asked me afterwards. It was an LSU, not affiliated directly with the program, but just said, hey, of those that you've seen, where would you rank this team from a talent standpoint? I'm like, quite honestly, probably the bottom half. The arms are phenomenal. I mean, they've got 4 or 5 guys that are going to pitch the big leagues if they stay clean. But, offensively, it's a little bit different. You don't know what Curiel's going to turn into. I think Milam's a big leaguer for sure. Jared Jones, I don't know. He's a hell of a player, and he's an unbelievable college player. But they start really finding your holes at the next level. So I think it makes it even more impressive that it wasn't that typical stand-up, hit the 3-run home run LSU team. It was, and they had plenty, but it wasn't. The offense was not what the offense was a couple of years ago, but yet they figured out a way to do it.
No doubt, and they got it done. There's a parade tonight. Our friends at Raising Cane sponsoring it tonight in Baton Rouge. I give them credit for doing a night parade instead of a day in the 100 whatever the hell the heat is in South Louisiana, but they'll be partying in Baton Rouge for a while. All right, moving on. I've got some stuff. I just want to talk about the growth of the college baseball game because another thing you and I were texting about, 2.5 million viewers on the Sunday national championship game. It had 50% of NBA Finals Game 7. We're not talking some regular game. And you've been part of this since you played in the mid-'90s. I mean, it just keeps building and building, and you see it with the TV numbers. You see it with all these teams are expanding their stadiums. Just the growth of the game.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I mean, this is my 23rd year, I think, and I can't explain how different it was 23 years ago from a coverage standpoint. You get the conference networks, that's a big deal. Then the digital piece, and people can watch a bunch. But I think the product itself continues to get better. More kids are going to college. More really good players.
And the MLB draft's only 28 rounds now. It used to be like 60. 20. Yeah, it's 20 now. It's 20
rounds. But the other thing is if you go look at percentage of college players taken in the draft as compared to what it was 10, 15 years ago, it's very different. To where major league teams now realize there's the freaks, and that's great. And there's kids that want to sign out of high school, and that's great too. But when you look at how quick guys get to the big leagues, the top players out of college when they're drafted, it's pretty amazing. I mean, I think there's 4 or 5 guys that played in the College World Series last year that are in the big leagues already. I mean, that's a year ago. It's not even a year ago that the draft was. So a long way of saying the college game from a pure talent standpoint is better than it's ever been. And I don't think it's going anywhere because Major League Baseball has realized it's better if they develop the player and we've got a better look at who they are before we got to spend a bunch of money instead of taking a chance on a 17, 18-year-old kid that you're just not quite sure exactly what they're going to do. Now you have 3 more years against the best competition to decide whether or not this is somebody you want. So it's been better for everybody. I think the product right now is incredible. And the coverage is great. And, thankfully, if you want to find it, for the most part, you can. But I think the product itself is as good as it's ever been, and it keeps getting better.
Yeah, and especially in this NIL world we live in now, because minor league baseball players, if you're drafted high, you get a big signing bonus, but if not, you don't make the most money. And now a lot of these kids, you're able to make it in college, so it makes them want to play in college.
Why wouldn't you? Yeah, and we've seen it. I mean, guys that you think are going to sign then end up coming back because the number makes sense, and maybe you can bump your draft status up. But I don't know if proud is the right word, but I'm just excited about. I'm going to be doing a Cubs game next week, and I love doing.
Oh, nice, coming up here.
Major League stuff. Yeah, we're doing the second, whatever day that is. And it's awesome to get in a big league environment and see those guys because you forget how good they are, just how consistent and good and everything else. But man, I love doing college games. I love the college environment. I love all the things that come along with it. It's a fun time to be doing what we're doing.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. The college game is, I feel the exact same way. And the NCAA tournament this year, too, you look back at this tournament, I remember a lot of people were talking March Madness. It was all chalk till the Final Four. Look what happened in this NCAA tourney. I mean, you had the number one national seed not make a regional final for the first time in history. You know, Texas was 19-2 in the SEC at one point, won the SEC, got beat by Texas San Antonio. I mean, totally unpredictable. And I just think the product is just it's phenomenal.
Well, and remember, I mean, it's a year after there was 4 ACC, 4 SEC, and the whole discussion was, well, you know, is this the way it's always going to be? Well, the next year you see, no, it's not. Now, I mean, it could flip and plenty of things can happen, but I think it's healthy for the game. It was healthy to get, you know, a good West Coast contingent in here, 3 former Pac teams, none of which are currently in the Pac. But at any rate, I think that it was a pretty good, I don't know, representation of how good college baseball is across the country.
Like looking forward as the game continues to grow, obviously you don't control everything, but it's interesting the ESPN MLB going to Fox, I believe next year. I'm hoping as a fan of the college game, you see more and more games on ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, not just the app. I mean, that could open up more ESPN college baseball games, I would think.
Yeah, it could. I'd still, by the time it's all said and done, and I mean, clearly I'm not a part of any of these conversations, but I still think you're going to see Major League Baseball in some way on ESPN. I'd be shocked if it doesn't happen. But, if it gives us more opportunity to highlight the best games in the country, then so be it. Squeeze play has been so well received by everybody. I laugh at Rooney and Berkey and Buds and Schick every year. I'm like, you guys actually do a show that everyone likes, but no one gets to do that show. I mean, we get to the end of every show and one fan base hates you or the other, or if you did a really good job, both, because that means you were probably down the middle. But they do a show every year that people absolutely universally love. So it'd be cool if we could do more of that. I know that there's been some discussions about it because, you know, it's the public is saying that's what we love. There's a reason why Red Zone is so popular. Those types of things.
We live in this weird society now where everybody just has so much at their fingertips and nobody has any kind of like patience for anything. And so it's like that constant action, no matter what it is and content. So
you also, you want to be able to respond to it too, right? I mean, if that is the way that people want to absorb media and we have the ability to show it, then I love the fact that we're looking to see if there's additional ways to do it. So, you know, I don't know whether it will happen, but I know that the people that are running baseball on our side right now, they're very aware of the college game and the impact that it has, and they pay a lot of attention to stuff like that. So, you know, fan bases say they want it. If there's a way that we can provide it, I think it's great.
Well, I want to make sure to mention, I know you're wearing your D1 hat. The job y'all do at D1 Baseball, covering college baseball, is just phenomenal. You have a great team. Kendall Rogers, I mean, number one college baseball writer in the world. And I just, every year, it amazes me. You know, the scoreboard, you can follow everything, the in-depth scouting reports, just everything y'all do. I love it. And I just love what y'all
do. These guys are awesome. I mean, that thing started in the lobby of the Hilton in Omaha.
What year?
10 years ago, 11 years ago.
Okay. Hello? What's up, Ethan? How are you?
Good. How about yourself, Mintz?
Doing well. Just getting excited about Vegas.
So am I.
Yeah, man. So you got your flight booked?
Yep. Getting in the second.
Hell yeah,
man. Play day 1C on the 4th.
That's awesome, man. Is this your first main event?
Yeah, for sure. It's my first time in Vegas, Mintz.
First time in Vegas. So, okay, just give us a backstory on Ethan. So, I'm still learning about you because you were around Barstool when I wasn't around. So you were an intern in New York. What year was this? Okay, it just came to Kyle. I just want to say, Kyle, thank you so much. I think we just dropped you on accident because we have somebody else popping in for World Series of Poker.
I'll get out of your way.
But I just want to say thank you. Enjoy the off season. Follow D1 Baseball for everything college baseball related. And, hey, have fun up here in Chicago next week.
Appreciate it, buddy. Go win some money in Vegas. I'll be fine.
I did 75th in 2011, 327th in 18. Maybe it's an every 7-year thing. I don't know.
You're due. The due factor. The due factor is going to play off.
Hopefully clean living. All right, thanks, Kyle. KP, follow him on Twitter at KP Omaha. If you're not a subscriber to D1 Baseball and you like the sport of baseball and you want to learn more about college baseball, it's the best $15 a month you'll ever spend. That I promise. They've been getting it for me for years, and I will continue forever. All right, so Ethan popped over, KP, but we're going to be joined now by Ethan. Ethan Camps. I believe we've got him. Hopefully he's going to reconnect here. I'm not sure what's going on. But so the Yak, to give a little backstory on Ethan, he was on the Yak the other day. He was an intern in New York years ago, before my time. And the Yak said, hey, we're going to put you in the World Series main event. And all the Yak pulled up money together. It's a $10K buy-in. They pulled their money together. And next thing you know, Ethan's, heading to Vegas to play the World Series of Maine. And you've never been to Vegas before.
No, never. It's really just as easy as asking, right?
So I don't understand okay, I want to ask about your Barstool time. So when were you in New York? When were you part of this?
Yeah, sorry, my stream thing cut out. But
no, it's a problem. Yeah. We had another guest on, so it was anyway. That's
okay. 2019 I applied to be Frankie Borelli just because I saw a tweet. Got in the interview door. Had never video edited a day in my life, but was funny enough to Dave in the moment. And he gave me a month-by-month trial, which ended poorly eventually. But, I've always kept friends there and just kind of stuck around in the background.
Hell yeah. Well, so the Yak just hit you up to come on. Like, how did that all come about?
Well, I was playing some online, and I won 5 sit-and-goes in a row. And I just simply tweeted that and tweeted at Big Cat, like, kind of throwaway, like, hey, shits and giggles, sign me up. And it slowly snowballed, and here we are, Mintz.
Coming to Vegas to play the World Series Maine. Well, I love it. I'm excited that you're coming, too. And you got your buy-in. You got your flight booked. I believe you're coming out on July the 2nd, you said, Monday?
Yes. I'll arrive like 11 a.m.-ish.
Well, I'm excited to have a partner in crime with Barstool because we're gonna tear it up around Vegas. I promise you that. The main event, so the way it works, main event's so big, $10,000 buy-in, like 10,000 people. There's 4-day ones. It's so big. It's that big.
Yeah.
So you could play the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th. And if you play the 2nd through 4th, day 2 Sunday the 6th. If you play the 5th, day 2 is Monday the 7th. And they pull the whole field, day 3, Monday the 8th. So I was talking to you, off camera. I feel like if we're working together on this, it might be better. Maybe we do it where we play different days so we can each kind of cover each other and do stuff. But we'll figure that out.
Yeah, for sure. You said you're playing the 5th.
I'm leaning toward playing the 5th, because the 2 times I did well, I played the last day in the main, so I kind of like that. But man, everybody plays that last day. And the other thing, when you think about with the 4th being the 4th of July. That 4th of July always feels like a super European field because like a lot of Americans don't want to play on the 4th. So there's arguments to be made. It's an age-old debate. People are always like, what's the best day to play? Generally the last day has the most people, but then a lot of the top players play the last day. So I don't freaking know. I honestly don't know, but we'll figure it out either way. And I'm just like like I said, I'm looking forward to having you out there, and you play a lot of cat. I'm planning on playing some cash games out there too, playing some smaller tourneys. Yeah. And I'm gonna get warmed up.
Yeah, exactly. I'm super excited, Mintz. I think we're gonna become the best of friends, maybe even too good of friends, and we'll have a blast out there and win some money, hopefully.
Yeah. So never been to, other than the poker thing. Like, what are you excited? First trip to Vegas.
I'm not so sure. I think the food, Mintz.
Food scene's awesome. We're gonna. I promise we'll hit it. I'm a big foodie too. And I'll say this about the Vegas food because I've been going out there playing the World Series since like 2009. This is like the 11th summer I've done it. And when you know about it, like all the casinos have like the famous celebrity chef restaurants, but they're all like, $200-$300 meals.
Yeah.
You just go off the strip, take a 5-minute Uber. These strip malls have some of the best Asian food in the world, and we'll get in the trenches. We'll find some spots.
I'm excited to have a guy like you showing me the ropes, Mintz. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, so you're representing the Yak. Last year, Big Cat bought $1,000 of me, and you can't do worse in the main event than I did last year. I busted my dinner break day one. I mean, it was just a horror show. I got 93rd out of 25,000 people in the $400 Colossus. Made like a big run right before the main. Nobody gives a shit about that once you bust the main dinner break day one. Like, everybody was just raining on me. I'm like, I just got 93rd out of 25,000. No one cares. All everybody cares about is the main.
Yeah, the same thing happened to Nate. I don't know if it was last year or a couple years ago when he bluffed off his whole stack.
Yeah, the 4-3 suited famous ham.
Yeah, exactly. And, you can't live that down ever. So there is an aspect of that for me. Like, it's kind of not legacy defining. I don't think I have a legacy necessarily, but there's some weight on the shoulders. It's like I don't want to let people down.
Well, I'm just this is going to be my 10th World Series main event. I did my second one in 2011 was the peak of my poker career. I got 75th out of 7,000 for like $90,000. I busted on day 6 after dinner. It was crazy. And then in 2018, I got 327th for like $40,000. And then the other 7, I'm still like a $40K winner lifetime. But
yeah.
Playing the tournament, so are you? I know you play cash games, you play sit and goes. How, like, do you play tournaments a little bit? Like,
tournaments. For me, tournaments. I just love the grind of it. I just love kind of sitting there and digging deep within yourself. I mean, you start with 300 big blinds in this tournament. So.
Yeah, the thing about this tournament, okay, and this is the advice I'm going to give you is the only comparison in sports I have is the U.S. Open in golf, where you see everybody grinding it and how hard it is mentally because they challenge you so much. You play poker tournaments all year, 30-minute levels, 40-minute levels. You're playing like a big championship event, maybe 60 minutes.
Now it's all 2 hours.
Now it's 2 hours. And I'm telling you, these levels feel like an eternity. So much happens in these levels. And it's a hard thing to get used to because it's just such a grind. I mean, it's...
Yeah.
And so that's the thing going in. It's like you just got to, I don't know your playing style, but it's...
I'm excited for the grind, though, Mintz.
I'm pumped, too.
I'm a grinded-out player, so...
Hell yeah. Yeah, well, I am, too. I can't wait. And then I always recommend people asking how to follow. So Vegas, the poker scene, it's like you think of like a music festival, but it's a poker festival. And so it's not just at Horseshoe in Paris where the World Series is on the Strip. But like Venetian has big series. There's series at Golden Nugget downtown and MGM and the Wynn and the Aria. It's like there's just stuff all the time. So the Poker Atlas app has everyday schedules. And so that's what I'd recommend to people if you're trying to track it. But I'm going
on that.
Yeah, I'm going out early because where I'm at in poker now, I still love it. But I've played 4 tournaments this year because we're so busy up here. So I'm trying to go early, and I'm going to play 4 or 5 tourneys before the main because I'm trying to get my game as sharp as I can. Plus, we're so lucky at Barstool. We get that Dave Portnoy, what a great American, gives us the whole 4th of July week off, and it's always World Series main. So this is the one time a year I get to really do this, and so I'm just super excited.
Well, I'm excited I could be there with you, Mintz. I'm looking forward to it greatly. It's probably the biggest thing I've ever done in my life. So, yeah, hopefully it goes well. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
No, let it fall where it may. Also, I recommend to people Poker Go does such a good job streaming all the World Series of Poker final tables. I worked there 2 summers ago, and now that you're with us and doing the Barstool thing, that means you're going to be in on the Poker Go too. And but I highly recommend people who want to follow World Series of Poker now that college baseball, NHL, and NBA finals are over. You need something to watch. It's like $14 a month, I think. But man, download.
They make it really easy too. There's a YouTube channel where they show about an hour preview every day of the main. So there's a way to watch it if you don't even have Poker Go. If you just want to kind of see what's up.
And I'm looking forward to the content too, because like I said, just for selfish reasons, it's so great having somebody with me. Because love getting out the short clips for Barstool, but it's not the same when I film myself. Well, when I'm filming them myself, it's not the same because it's not organic.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be really fun. I'm going to be, when you play the main, I'll be interviewing you at breaks and following you along, and then, we'll flip it, and we're gonna do it big. You've never been to
This
Vegas,
might
so
be
I got a
nerdy.
few other content things too. I think we may be going
All right.
hiking might go hiking at Red Rock one morning. They've got this mafia museum downtown I've been wanting to check out, like all the history of Vegas and the mob. So we're gonna eat some good food. We're gonna play a World Series of poker. I mean, it's the American dream. Let's do it.
The American dream, Mintz. Just two
Hell
guys
yeah.
living it.
Just two guys living it. So, all right, well, you're going to be out there Monday. Follow Ethan on Twitter at Ethan, Kamps, Ethan Camps.
Yeah.
And I'm going to head out there. I'm going to get out there early this weekend because I'm trying to get sharp. And, the office is closed on Friday, so I'm going to try to go ahead and get out there. Venetian, $1,600, $1.5 million on Friday. Call my name. It's going to be the first one I fire.
Perfect. Mintz, I think you found the right guy, too, because I'm the kind of nerd that, you could just rattle off your hand history and all the bad.
Oh, no, yeah, no. I actually take
all
notes when I play. And I got the notepad up. Like, not every hand, but if it's a key hand, I write it out, and then I try to go back, go through it. And I think we could – there's all kinds of stuff with poker content. Like, I think we could do, a hand of the day. We can do anything.
Sure.
We're going to throw a lot of crap at the wall and hope some of it sticks in the true Barstool fashion. Well, what are you doing these days?
Watch my uncle's dog a lot of the time. My friends actually are going to come over and play some cash probably in a couple hours or so. So, yeah, just trying to get ready.
Hell yeah. Well, I know you got your buy-in ready. You got your 10K for the World Series main, and I'll see you out there Monday. Can't wait. We got I'm working the Barstool Golf Classic on Monday at PGA Summerlin. Very excited about that. That's gonna be really fun. I've heard great things about that course. I hope it starts really early because how freaking hot it's gonna be in Vegas. Hopefully, usually those things start at 9 a.m. because we're gonna cook out there in that desert. I could damn sure promise you that.
Yeah, I was taking a look at the weather for the week. Not ideal, Mintz.
Well, I will say this: bring a hoodie. Because one thing about these poker rooms and stuff, you always forget when it's hot outside. But, man, it's cold in these poker rooms and stuff. So I brought a couple hoodies with me just in case. But, man, just excited to get back. I've played 4 tourneys this year. I got 37th out of 2,300 in a 400 World Series Chicago. I got 6th out of 208 in a 400. I did terrible in the 1,700 Chicago main. And then I lost a pot 10 hours in for the chip lead of the $1,100 Mid-States Poker Tour, Chicago last month. Dude, I had pocket jacks and got re-raised pre-flop, and I called, came Queen Jack 4 Rainbow at a heads-up pot. The dude had queens. It was anyway, whatever. Let's just get on with it. But I my jaw was on the floor. I was literally there's no friggin' way.
Yeah. Do you think that maybe helps you? You're not going in, I don't know, overworked. You're going in fresh.
Oh, I think I have a theory to that. The World Series of Poker starts in late May, and a lot of these top pros have been out there for 6 weeks in that desert heat playing so much. You see people that are far better in poker than me just punt in the main because the 2-hour level thing, after grinding all summer, it just breaks people's brains. So I think there's something to be said for coming out fresh.
A lot of nobody wants to bust in the main event, obviously, but a lot of those top pros too are playing so many super high rollers and stuff that it kind of, it's the main event, but at the same time, there's still more to be done for them. So they can't, put too much stock into it. Yeah,
well, it's only one poker tournament. And the one thing that I love about the main is you can't rebuy, so because a lot of these tournaments now with the re-entry stuff, if I'm playing the World Series main and Daniel Negreanu can play it 12 times, I probably am not going to have a chance to do well. But everybody's on the same thing. You get 110K buy-in. And let's let the chips fall where they may. Well, hell yeah, Ethan! I can't wait to get you out in Vegas. We'll keep texting and talking. You get there Monday. Hopefully, I've got the Barstool Classic all day Monday, so I'm not gonna have poker. But once I get done, we'll meet up. We'll go to dinner Monday night after you get there, and we'll make a plan for the week. But we're gonna be firing out that content. We can't let the act down.
No, not at all. And I appreciate everything you've done so far, Mintzy, and I look forward to it with every muscle of my body.
Love it. See you on Monday in Vegas. Going out west, World Series of Poker. like I said, follow. I'll probably be at. Usually, Poker Go puts me at some featured tables, so that's if I'm at any of them, I'll be tweeting that out. And let's get this money. Hey, man, it's the American dream. Somebody's got to get this money.
God bless.
Okay, Ethan Camp's coming out to play the World Series main, representing the Yak. Want to shout out Kyle Peterson, KP Omaha, top college baseball announcer in the country. Love getting to catch up with him, talk about the College World Series. Tyler Moody holding down the fort. We're gonna get out of here. It's time to get ready to go out west. Let's do it, boys.